Hey, what's up, YouTube? If you're a Twitch streamer or content creator over on Twitch, here's something you need to know. Twitch apparently wants more of their streamers' money. Let's check it out. Let's go!
I'm obviously way late to talk about this, but it's something that I had on my radar and I just wanted to give my take on. And of course, way late in the modern climate is 4 days apparently. That feels like a million years in how quick the internet moves now. So Twitch streamers criticize awful new sponsorship system where platform takes a cut. I'm somebody who's made a lot of videos talking about how bad YouTube sponsors are and how just difficult they are to navigate and deal with. Because a lot of companies that reach out to you for sponsorships, and this includes Twitch as well, they're usually marketing companies like middlemen, and they just suck. And they essentially rip your ass in terms of the split that they're taking. They don't even tell you about it.
Wait, you say Twitch or YouTube?
You out of getting good deals because they add on a massive amount of money on top. They're usually Russian companies, Chinese companies that have got like some tax haven account where basically you're sending invoices to like the British Virgin Isles or something like that. It's just overall a mess. So I do see that a company, like a legit company, being able to give you sponsorships that they've curated and taken out all the big problems would probably be quite useful. And that's usually what management does. And of course, management usually takes anywhere from 10 to 30%. Now, the fact that Twitch is trying to do this, especially at a time where the competition for live streaming is ramping up massively, which of course we do have to go into as context in this video with Kick and YouTube, just seems like Twitch are so off the mark, and this has been consistent across the entire business for the last couple of years, that they just don't really know what to do with their target audience, and they don't know how tone deaf and how silly these things come across to people who still are loyal to the brand of Twitch. If you're not aware, even when competition was ramping up and Kick didn't exist,
I don't think I'll ever be loyal to Twitch.
Paying for big creators to go over to YouTube and making YouTube's platform much better for live streaming, which again, it's still not perfect, but it could be eventually. And of course, there's a lot more users on YouTube to get to in the first place. Twitch made the decision to take what was a special deal that they would give creators, being a 70-30 sub split, where essentially the creator gets 70% if they're big enough to negotiate this, and Twitch takes 30%.
We already knew about
which
this.
Is of course different from the 50-50 everybody's on, but they stopped giving these deals out to people a long time ago, and they've mostly stopped also paying creators that are really integral to the website's success to stay there in the first place with like exclusivity contracts. Whereas companies like YouTube are doing that because they have money to throw around. They can win this war over a long time for the supremacy of the live streaming platform. And then Kick showed up and they're paying people as well to come over to the platform. But not only are they doing that, they're giving streamers 95% sub
That's
split,
crazy.
which essentially means if you're streaming on Twitch, unless you value stability, which of course Twitch is going to be more stable, especially if you've already got an audience over there, than Kick would be. Because my concerns with Kick are, of course, the long-term sustainability of the website. It makes no sense not to swap over to Kick other than for that exact purpose. Because let's be real, getting 95% of money that your community gives.
I mean, you can always switch over to Kick, and if that fails, just go back to Twitch or YouTube, whatever you do.
Gives you versus 50% is an incredibly large difference. And it's the difference between some people being able to do this full-time and being able to do it part-time, which, of course, if you're doing it full-time means, hopefully at least, you roll it into even more money because you have more hours to put into it and dedicate to the craft. So for a lot of people, they're going to be swapping over to Kick anyway. Now, every single time Twitch announces or releases something new, that just shows that they're doubling down on essentially taking more money from creators and trying to get in their pockets in more avenues, which were traditionally not in their pockets. It just looks even worse, and I assume from this more and more people are going to swap over to Kick or YouTube as a result. So what this is, essentially, is Twitch already had like a sponsorship section where they matched up like, oh, you know, you've streamed for a certain amount of hours, you have a certain amount of viewers, this company wants to be matched to you, press this button, and then play their game or whatever, or have this in the corner of your screen, and you get this dollar value. Now, they're trying to double down on this, and of course, people are very upset because they posted, "We're testing new experiences to connect streamers and brands by making sponsored streams work better for our community. We're in the early stages of seeing what works, but want to give you a sneak peek. This month, you may start seeing sponsored streams. One would be streamer ad reads, which support streamers in delivering branded talking points live and across multiple streams.
I think I've actually seen this, like a couple of my friends over on Twitch. I think they're getting like some Diablo 4 like, sponsorship deals, like things like that. I think I've already seen. I think I'm already starting to see this go on.
Streams per Twitch. It added this test is part of an ongoing work to help streamers deliver ads natively in streams themselves. Subcodes, which let brands pay for subs and share the codes with viewers off Twitch. Viewers redeem the codes on Twitch and receive tokens that they can use to subscribe to their favorite channels. You would be getting 50% of this. So again, this is basically just Twitch being able to take 50% of the money that you would be making for doing something that traditionally you would get paid almost 100% for. And then sponsored gift subs, which allow brands to buy and gift subs in chat to viewers at scale. So again, this is a sponsor. You're doing something for a sponsor, and then the sponsor turns around and pays you in gift subs instead of paying you in dollars, which you would get the full amount of, instead giving 50% of that to Twitch. I don't know how any of this is good for the streamer. And sponsored sub discounts, which will offer September-like discounts for subscriptions on individual channel subs. Just like September, brands sponsor these discounts, allowing streamers to receive their regular payout for subs, even though viewers pay a reduced rate. So again, just another way for Twitch to take money from streamers that, in my opinion, they're not really entitled to. And as this reads,
Twitch be
it's not exactly
greedy.
clear how much Twitch would get or how tools would work. It could be a creator marketplace-esque feature where Twitch matches up with brands and streamers and then takes an overall cut for arranging the deal. Now, if this was between like a 10 and 15% cut, I could understand this being like arguably decent, but Twitch is such a big company that whatever they negotiate is never going to be tailored to you or your audience, which essentially means that no matter what they negotiate, it would be worse than what you could negotiate yourself, or with management and representation that if you're a big enough creator for this to actually matter, you don't need Twitch to be doing it. My problem with this is kind of like, who is this specifically for? Who is this aimed at? Because anybody who would be making substantial money from brand deals has the ability to get a manager, or basically just gets inboxed all these deals in the first place, which I can guarantee would be more lucrative than what Twitch is going to offer them. Because of course they're cutting out the middleman in that case. Although of course, as I mentioned at the start of the video, a lot of the times it will be from a middleman, but they take their cut off of what they get from the company. Now they might misrepresent, like, let's say for instance, I say I want $2,000, and then the company turns around and says, oh, they want $4,000, and then they keep $2,000. If they agree, I'm still getting the rate that I set, and they're just basically getting more. But in some instances, they'll say that, and the company will go, oh, 4K is too much, and they'll basically have priced you out of something that essentially you would have gotten on your rate originally without them adding on a massive amount. So I can see that like there's some world in which this exists that could be useful for some people, but for people that are small enough that this would actually help, they're not going to be getting the offers. And for people that are big enough to just get a manager and pay 10 to 15% anyway, they're going to be worse off. So obviously the backlash on this has been pretty incredible, because people just don't like that Twitch is doing more and more monetization. They already tried to basically do the, oh, don't donate.
It just feels like Twitch is trying to squeeze every little penny they can before this fucking platform decides to plummet.
On PayPal, do gifted subs instead, do bits instead, do things that are on our platform and that are monetized in our systems. There was rumors a while ago that they were going to, like, you know, blacklist people using PayPal links and stuff. I don't know whatever came of that. It was something that I heard multiple times, but obviously take that with a pinch of salt. I don't think they'd be stupid enough to do that at this stage. They've obviously just had massive layoffs across the company repeatedly. They've not really delivered on any massive features. They're pushing more and more ads on the platform that make the viewing experience just considerably worse. And essentially all the big creators are being offered contracts that are like, we will give you some favorable terms, like we'll pay you a bunch of money, but you have to run a certain amount of ads per hour, which again is just completely flying in the face of live content. Live content is not served well with ads. People don't like it. And I don't think people are ever going to like it. And if that means people are going to go to Kick, a website which, again, I don't think is going to be around for the long term, although I always appreciate when there's competitors around, even if I disagree with the people investing in it in the first place and what it might be doing with pushing people towards gambling in crypto gambling websites. I think at this point...
My thoughts on Kick are, this is the way I see it, right? Kick is ultimately a gambling company, and where do they get their earnings from? They get their earnings from stakes and gambling. So that means when streaming gaming content creators come over to Kick, they're not really making money off that per se. And if they're handing out 95%, that's just even worse. Eventually, when Kick becomes oversaturated with gaming content creators, what's going to happen is they're going to be losing a lot of money. So what's going to happen is they're going to start pushing the gambling streams back to the front of the page on Kick, because that's where they're getting their money from in stakes for gambling. The gaming streaming content creators are just going to get pushed to the back, kind of like what we see on Twitch already. That's where I see Kick going. However, maybe they have a plan for this. I don't know, but I doubt it.
Staying on Twitch, unless you are very loyal to the brand or that you think it's more stable than the other platforms, YouTube, it definitely isn't, especially with how YouTube have been getting better and Twitch have been getting worse, in my opinion. I just don't really see the reason to stay on Twitch, honestly. When I do stream on Twitch, which is very rare, would be choosing Twitch. But I think at this point, it's going to be really hard to not decide to just stream on YouTube or just try out Kick. But yeah, that's my opinion on this. I don't know who the fuck this is for. I don't know what the fuck they think they're doing. But this definitely isn't it. If they weren't already losing market confidence and market share, then things like this and continuing to double down on things like this is just so ridiculously tone deaf.
Yeah, like I said, they're just trying to squeeze every last penny out of their streaming content creators as they can before this fucking platform takes a shit.
Can't see who signed off on this. Amazon paid $1 billion to get Twitch, and then they've essentially not done very many things with it that are positive in the community's eyes, in the streamers' eyes, and it just gets worse and worse. But there we go. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Peace.
There's Twitch's big new update and their new sponsorship system where platform takes a cut. Takes another freaking cut out of your paycheck. You guys are welcome. Until next time, I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, if you liked the video, make sure you head over to the page, hit that like button, scroll over, smash that subscribe, and hit that bell icon to get notified for future video drops, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.